What's up, guys? So this is going to be a quick video, and I am basically going to just show you guys how to take this $6 lawn light, solar lawn light from Home Depot, and turn it into a kind of security light for my shed. So this will be a real quick video, but I just wanted to show it and maybe give you guys an idea of what you can do if you have a similar setup. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. All right, this light comes apart pretty easy. It's in multiple sections. You have the stake here piece that comes out. This piece goes here, and then this goes through there. That's what you use to adjust it. On the top here, you have the wires going to the little mini solar panel, and this is also where the battery is, right here behind this door. So this is basically just pushed into the hole there, and all you do is just kind of twist it and pop it out. So first off, I just disassembled this whole thing, and then I'll show you how I'm going to use the pieces to mount up and then remount everything once it's mounted on the shed. All right, so what I've done here is I removed the battery from the solar panel. And then basically when I separated these pieces, all I did was cut the wires. So you just want to make sure, since this is a solar panel, that you cut the wires separately. Don't cut them together. It should be off. This is the little off-on switch right here. So as long as it's off, there shouldn't be any power going on here. But just in case, if you were to cut this and there was power going, you could get a little spark. Probably not much because it's just a small battery, but it could happen. This is not like a big solar system on your house. So basically what I did was I took the key components from this, the mount here, and then the mount for this, and I'll show you what I did as far as mounting it up on the shed. All right, so I'm at at the barn doors of my shed, and where I'm going to be mounting this light is above the door. So what I did was, if you see those two pieces right above me, sorry about the sun, I'll flip the camera around. So all I did was I drilled a hole big enough for this piece, which is where the stake was, and then that is what attaches this attaches to. So that's going to attach on there. So I drilled a hole with a what are those bits called? Forstner bit. So it basically is like a hole saw, but it doesn't go all the way through. So when I drilled that hole, it doesn't go through on this side. And I did it just big enough for that piece to fit in there. And then as you can see, I added in silicone and I put it in there, and I'm gonna let it dry. Now the other side is the piece that I popped out of the top, and that was the mount for the little solar panel. So I just did the same thing here. I drilled a hole this time all the way through though, and then I put silicone on it and I mounted that piece in there. So you can see the hole on the back side there. So that is where the wires will come through, and then they'll tie back into the light. All right, what I'm doing here is I'm basically extending these wires. So since I separated all these components and they're going to be a little further apart than normal, I need to extend the wires, and I'm only extending them maybe about 4 inches or so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to solder this red wire onto this red wire, this black wire onto this black wire. If you do not have the capability to solder or not able to solder, you could also use the crimp-on style for this, which is just the electrical connections. I'll show those in a minute because that's what I'm actually going to use to reconnect these once I extend the wires and actually put them through the hole. So that's what I'm doing now, is just extending these wires. Okay, so you see that these wires are soldered. Once you do that, then you need to protect them. So I have these little pieces of heat shrink tubing, and basically all you do is you just slip it over the wire to this spot, and then you heat it up and it shrinks down. If you do not have this, you can just use electrical tape, will work the same way. All right, so I have the heat shrink on, and what I did is I put the two small pieces right over where the bare wire was. I shrunk those down, and then I put this larger piece over both wires just to keep everything together. So the heat shrink is all on. Next is going to be crimping on the spade connectors. And as you can see on this side, I have the spade connectors crimped on, and then you have, this is the other side which those go into. So I'm not going to crimp these on until I feed this wire through the hole, because I'm not sure if these will totally fit. So once I feed this wire through the hole, then I'll crimp those on, and then I'll reconnect it and mount everything. Okay, back out at the shed. I'm going to go ahead and put this battery in. Maybe not. There we go. Kind of hard to do one-handed. Okay, so now this section is ready to be mounted, and I have the small screw here, and then there's a nut in there, if it's showing up. Yeah, right there. So I'm going to go ahead and get this mounted up on the roof beam. All right, so I'm going to feed the wires through here and then get this piece mounted. One thing that I wanted to point out was on this mount piece there is a stop, which is right there. So in my situation, I wanted to make sure that that stop was down, because if the stop was on the top side, then I wouldn't be able to rotate this light up. So now I can rotate the light up, and that should get plenty of sunlight right there. So then I will just tighten down this, and then you can see the wires coming through. So I will, next thing I'll do is terminate the spade connectors on there, and then I'll mount the actual light. All right, so I'm going to crimp these on, and of course it doesn't matter which one goes on which. When I have thinner wires like this, these are 24 gauge wires. I actually soldered the wire, and then I like to fold it in half just to give it a little bit more meat to actually crimp onto. So I'll go ahead and do the first one. You want to make sure that the wire is in there far enough. And the way these work, inside the plastic, there's actually a metal tube. So you have to stick the bare wire into that part of it, and then you crimp it down. And then I usually like to give a little tug on it just to make sure that it's on there. I'll do the other one. Okay, let's squeeze this a little bit. There we go. And then these crimpers, there's quite a few different varieties of these. You can get them at any hardware store. Same thing with these lugs. You can get them at Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace, like they'll have them pretty much everywhere. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and mount the light on here and then connect the wires. This one, the spade just slides into the bracket in here, and then you want to do the red wire to the red wire, the black wire to the black wire. Sometimes these are a little difficult to slide in, but then you'll feel that they will kind of just pop into place, and then they'll be snug. All right, so they're both in place. So I'm going to go ahead and switch this on and then cover it up. On, yeah. There we go. So there's actually a light sensor on the solar panel, so once it gets dark, then it turns on automatically. So I don't have to do anything with this. It's just here. When the sun goes down, the light will turn on. That's the end of it. All right, so this bracket here, there's a spot for the nut to go in, so it kind of just fits in place. And then there's some teeth on here that match up. And it helps if you don't drop the part. I want to keep the wires on this side. And this light is really lightweight. So I'm hoping that the silicone is strong enough to hold that in there. If not, I may have to come back and do some other way to attach this. But right now, that's kind of just a real simple, easy way to do it. So I'm actually going to get some electrical tape, and I'm going to put it around this, and then I'll be done with this. Okay, well, there is the finished product. Got the wires taped up there. That's pretty much just for protection against corrosion. I mean, in humid climate like this, it'll still probably get corrosion, you know, after time passes, but should be good. I mean, this is a $6 light, so can't really complain. And then the solar panels right there should get plenty of sun. And this is not super bright. This is a 40-watt bulb, so I didn't want it to be super bright. I just wanted it to cast a little bit of light on the door. So that's it. All right, so it's pretty dark and the light is on and working just how I wanted it to. So I didn't want a super bright light. I didn't want anything that was glaring, just something that kind of lit up the door so that I could see it, you know, from the window in the house. So that's perfect. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap up this video. Just a quick project video, you know, something maybe to inspire you guys to do something like this if you need to do it. And it was really cheap. I mean, that was a $6 light. Just a little bit of other stuff, wiring and whatnot, you know, and the crimps, the connectors and stuff. But all in all, a really cheap, easy project, and it got done what I needed to get done. So thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Aloha.